Imagine a plane full of terrified hostages, stranded in a runway in a faraway land, surrounded by armed terrorists and guarded by hostile army. And then out of the African night sky comes the roar of Hercules aircraft, Israeli commandos flying thousands of miles into enemy territory to bring their people home. It was on the 27th of June 1976, an Air France jet, that's flight 139, took off from Tel Aviv. It was bound for Paris. It stopped briefly at Athens, Greece to pick more passengers, but among them were 4 hijackers, 2 from the German Revolutionary Cells and 2 from the Popular Front of the Liberation of Palestine. Moments after takeoff from Athens, the hijackers stormed the cockpit, guns in hand, and announced, "This plane now belongs to us." They diverted the flight south across the Mediterranean, landing first in Benghazi, Libya for refueling, then finally in Entebbe Airport, Uganda. Now, Entebbe was no random choice. Uganda's ruler, Idi Amin, was a close friend of the Palestinians. He welcomed the hijackers with open arms, even visited the hostages himself, smiling and waving as if he was hosting a parade. Inside the old terminal building, over 250 hostages, men, women, children, they were kept under guard. The terrorists soon began separating the passengers, Israelis and Jews on one side, non-Jews on the other side. Within days, they released the non-Israeli hostages, keeping about 106, mostly Israelis, as bargaining chips. The hijackers demanded the release of over 50 prisoners held in Israel and across Europe. They gave a deadline. If their demands weren't met, the hostages would die. Back in Israel, panic turned to determination. The government debated, should they negotiate or act? Then came the daring idea, a rescue mission. But Entebbe was 4,000 kilometers away across deserts, over enemy airspace, deep in Africa. Impossible? Well, maybe, but the Israelis had no choice. They called it Operation Thunderbolt. So by nightfall on July 3rd, 1976, 4 Hercules C-130 transport planes lifted off from Israel, carrying elite commandos of Sayeret Matkal, Israel's top special forces. Leading them was a young officer named Netanyahu, the older brother of future Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. They flew low, barely above the Red Sea, to avoid radar detection through the darkness and silence of the African night. After 7 hours, the planes reached Entebbe. The first aircraft touched down on the runway just after 11 p.m. The Israeli soldiers rolled out in black Mercedes and Land Rovers, painted to look like Idi Amin's convoy. For a few moments, Ugandan soldiers were fooled. Then shots rang out. The commandos stormed the old terminal, shouting in Hebrew, "Down, down, we're Israelis." In a flash of gunfire and chaos, they neutralized the hijackers and the Ugandan guards. All 7 terrorists were killed. Within 9 minutes, the entire operation was over. But not without cost. Netanyahu was struck by a Ugandan sniper's bullet and killed, the only Israeli commando to die in the mission. 3 hostages also lost their lives in the crossfire. Yet by 1 a.m., the planes roared back into the sky, carrying 102 rescued hostages, safe and free. When they landed in Israel, the crowd wept and cheered. The world watched in awe. Operation Thunderbolt had become a legend, a symbol of courage, precision, and the unbreakable bond of a nation that refused to leave its people behind. So when you hear Operation Thunderbolt, remember, it wasn't just a rescue, it was a message to the world. Even in the darkest night, someone will still fly through danger to bring their people home. Thank you for sticking through till now. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. For more stories like this, please follow, like, share, and subscribe.